Yo, hip-hop fam. The streets are talking, and you do not want to miss this one. Jim Jones has officially dropped his new music video, Fashion Killa. And trust me, it's causing absolute chaos online. Fans everywhere are reacting to how Jim fires back at Kanye West. Yes, you heard that right. The himself is being called out in a way only Jim Jones can do. This isn't just another song. It's a statement, a clapback, and a bold move that's shaking up the entire Harlem rap scene, from the visuals to the lyrics. Jim's message is clear and unfiltered. He's addressing the wild claims Kanye made about him, and the reaction from fans has been insane. Some are calling it savage, others are debating whether Jim went too far. And the internet can't stop buzzing about it. You'll see references that tie into real-life events, bold gestures that only Jim could pull, and moments that are sparking viral discussions across social media. If you've ever followed the drama between Harlem legends and hip-hop royalty, this is the kind of content that makes you lean forward, replay the scenes, and share it with everyone you know. Stick around because we're breaking down every shocking moment, every shade thrown, and every jaw-dropping lyric. By the end of this, you'll understand why this video is already trending and why fans are calling it one of the most explosive hip-hop moments of 2025. Trust me, you don't want to scroll past the drama. The heat and the clash between Jim Jones and Kanye is real, raw, and wild. As the dust settled from Jim Jones' explosive new music video, Fashion Killa, fans were left stunned, rewinding every frame to catch the subtle jabs and bold gestures aimed squarely at Kanye West. This isn't just a simple rap video. It's a carefully calculated response from Jim Jones, a Harlem legend who's no stranger to controversy, showing that even in 2025, he's still a major player in the hip-hop landscape. The video opens with Jim in his signature Harlem backdrop, dripping with style, confidence, and the unmistakable aura of someone who knows exactly how to command attention. The visuals are tight, the cinematography sharp, and every frame screams power and authority, setting the stage for the confrontation that fans have been buzzing about online. From the very first bar, it's evident that Jim isn't holding back. He's addressing the recent allegations and wild claims Kanye made about him in a way that is both subtle and direct. A masterclass in musical retaliation. Social media immediately exploded the moment the video dropped. Fans flooded platforms like Instagram, Twitter, X, and TikTok with reactions ranging from shock and disbelief to outright hype. Some highlighted the intricate references in Jim's lyrics, pointing out lines that clearly allude to Kanye's past actions and statements, while others were captivated by the way Jim visually positioned himself as untouchable and confident. A man who won't let anyone disrespect him publicly. Comments like Jim Jones snapped, "And this is the clapback we needed," started trending within hours, proving that the video had hit a nerve. But what's truly fascinating is the strategic genius behind the release. Jim Jones didn't just drop a song, he created a cultural moment. The timing of the video, the styling, the lyrical content, and the subtle nods to ongoing industry drama all combined to make Fashion Killa more than a response. It became a statement piece. Every line is dissected by fans, dissected by influencers, and now dissected by journalists, making it clear that Jim Jones knows exactly how to command attention and control the narrative. The lyrics are sharp, witty, and unapologetic. Lines that reference Kanye's controversial behavior, his public statements, and even his business ventures create a narrative that's impossible to ignore. But Jim doesn't just rely on words. His visuals are packed with symbolism and subtle jabs that only the most attentive fans will catch. For instance, certain wardrobe choices and camera angles seem to mock Kanye's past gestures and public appearances, showing that Jim is playing on multiple levels: lyrical, visual, and psychological. Fans and analysts quickly began breaking down the video frame by frame, noting how Jim's harshest lines were delivered with a controlled calm, a sign of a veteran who understands the importance of letting the audience feel the impact rather than shouting it outright. This is where Jim Jones differs from many of his peers. He knows that less is more, and in this case, his minimalism amplifies the tension. By keeping certain lyrics vague yet loaded, he forces Kanye and the world to read between the lines. One of the most talked about moments comes midway through the video, when Jim references the PDF controversy and Kanye's alleged comments about crypto deals. Fans immediately recognize the connection, sparking thousands of tweets debating whether Jim was telling the truth, exaggerating, or simply playing mind games. Regardless, the reaction proves the point. Jim Jones successfully inserted himself back into the conversation at the highest level, reminding everyone that he still commands respect in the industry. But the impact of the video isn't limited to just Kanye or Jim's immediate fan base. Other Harlem legends and East Coast artists have begun weighing in, either publicly commenting on the release or sharing their takes on social media. There's a sense of community pride intertwined with the controversy. Harlem fans are rallying behind Jim, interpreting his video as defending not just himself, but the reputation of the streets he represents. The discussion extends beyond music into culture, neighborhood pride, and respect, making the stakes higher than your typical rap feud. Industry insiders have also noted the marketing brilliance of this drop. By addressing Kanye indirectly, but publicly, Jim Jones leveraged both controversy and artistry to maximize attention. Interviews, reaction videos, memes, and even live streams dissecting every line of the video have multiplied the reach exponentially. In today's digital age, virality is not just about the content, but about how the audience engages with it. And in this case, the engagement has been off the charts. Another fascinating aspect of fashion, Killa, is Jim's delivery and wizened. As Jim's delivery and wizened leader, and we all know I've been exploring that path. Virality is not just about the content, but about wizened. And in this case, we am wizen lead. We alize wizen leads. I don't with alizen lead to comfort. A wizen wise so with them we you see we to see to we to see we can you we to I say you can we can we you to you see give you the guide do we you that you we I kid with like for you what could you get to at to you to act they can detail go particularly guy cut got I work Flow, he doesn't just speak, he commands. Each verse builds tension, each bar lands like a punch, and his cadence keeps viewers on edge, anticipating the next clever diss. This is important because Kanye is known for his own strong presence and public persona. For Jim to hold his ground and in many ways take control of the narrative requires both confidence and skill. And clearly, Jim possesses both in abundance. The production of the video further amplifies the message. Darker tones, rapid cuts, and Harlem-centric imagery create a mood that screams seriousness and authority. Subtle visual cues hint at Kanye's influence and past controversies without naming him directly, allowing Jim to control the story while keeping it visually and lyrically compelling. Fans immediately began noticing parallels between the visuals and real-life events, creating endless discussion threads and debates online. Reaction videos have already begun cropping up, with influencers analyzing every line, gesture, and outfit choice. Some highlight the historical context, comparing this response to Jim's earlier clashes with other East Coast artists, while others focus purely on the drama of Kanye being called out in this manner. One thing is certain, whether fans love it or hate it, nobody can ignore it by the end of the first week. Fashion Killa had dominated conversations on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok with hashtags like #JimJones, #fashion, KILLA, #YeklaBack, Hashtag Harlem Rap trending regionally and nationally. Memes, reaction videos, and debates proliferated, ensuring that the video stayed relevant and talked about for days after its release. This is exactly what Jim Jones needed to reassert his influence and remind the world that he's still a force to be reckoned with. In conclusion, Jim Jones didn't just release a video. He staged a masterclass in a viral hip-hop drama. By blending lyrical skill, cultural references, visual storytelling, and a direct yet subtle response to Kanye West, he created a moment that has captivated fans and sparked conversation across the internet. The streets are buzzing, social media is alive, and one thing is clear: Jim Jones is back. And he's not holding anything back as the days passed after the explosive release of Jim Jones' fashion Killa. The internet erupted in ways few could have predicted. Fans, influencers, and even fellow artists were dissecting every lyric, every visual cue, and every subtle jab aimed at Kanye West. It became immediately clear that this wasn't just a song. It was a full-blown cultural moment on platforms like Twitter, X, Instagram, and TikTok. Hashtags related to Jim's video began trending rapidly. Hashtag Fashion Killa, hashtag Jim Jones, hashtag The Clapback, hashtag Harlem Rap, and others dominated timelines. Clips from the video were shared endlessly, with fans highlighting bars that seemed to reference Kanye's past controversial statements about business deals, music, and even public image. Some fans even dug deep into the visuals, pointing out wardrobe choices and camera angles that symbolically referenced Kanye's persona and public history. The combination of sharp lyrics and visual storytelling made this video a goldmine for internet discourse. And memes were popping up almost immediately. One viral reaction came from social media users who noticed a scene in which Jim Jones sits on a high-backed chair, wearing an outfit reminiscent of Kanye's iconic fashion moments. While delivering some of the most cutting lines in the video, fans interpreted this as a direct but subtle mockery of Kanye, praising Jim for his ability to deliver a clapback without being overtly aggressive. This is important because it showcases Jim's skill. He can address his detractors while staying in complete control, something that few artists manage to do effectively in today's internet-driven culture. Meanwhile, TikTok exploded with reaction videos. Quote, creators broke down every verse, sometimes pausing mid-bar to emphasize the severity of the lyrics aimed at Kanye. One clip, which quickly went viral, showed a split screen with Jim's video on one side and Kanye's past Instagram rants on the other, drawing direct comparisons. The caption read, Jim Jones came through with receipts, and the engagement numbers skyrocketed into the hundreds of thousands within hours. But the discussion didn't stop with fans. Fellow artists and Harlem insiders began weighing in as well. Some voiced support for Jim, praising him for standing his ground against one of hip-hop's biggest names, while others debated whether the video went too far or if Kanye would respond. Analysts pointed out that Jim's timing was impeccable. By releasing the video at a moment when Kanye's public controversies were already trending, he ensured maximum visibility and engagement. Industry commentary quickly followed. Hip-hop. Journalists highlighted Jim Jones' strategic use of visuals and lyrics to craft a narrative that would dominate conversation. They noted that, in addition to direct jabs at Kanye, the video contained subtle nods to Harlem's culture and Jim's own legacy, reinforcing his position as a Harlem legend who can still control the conversation. One popular article described the video as a masterclass in timing, visuals, and lyrical execution. Jim Jones reminded the world that Harlem rap still holds weight in 2025. Meanwhile, fan debates became more intricate. Some dissected specific lines referencing Kanye's alleged missteps in the fashion and music industries. Others discussed symbolic imagery in the video, like Jim holding a gold chain in a certain way or standing in locations reminiscent of past Kanye moments. These visual Easter eggs added layers to the video that encouraged repeat views and further sharing. Fans were not just watching. They were analyzing, theorizing, and creating content about the content itself. The social media frenzy also spilled into YouTube reactions. Multiple channels uploaded breakdowns of Fashion Killa, each dissecting the lyrics, comparing them to Kanye's statements, and predicting possible responses. One reaction video reached over 100,000 views in under 24 hours, demonstrating the magnitude of the online interest. Fans were tuning in not just for the music, but for the drama and tension that surrounded it. But what made this viral wasn't just the content. It was the cultural relevance. Jim Jones managed to connect the video to real-world industry tensions, blending music, street credibility, and social media virality. He didn't need to name Kanye explicitly in every line. The audience could connect the dots. And that ambiguity made the response even more powerful. Every subtle nod and indirect reference made fans feel like insiders, sparking countless threads and discussions. As the week progressed, more Harlem artists and influencers jumped into the conversation. Some praised Jim for his artistry and clever approach, while others debated whether this would escalate into further public responses from Kanye. Podcasts began dissecting the video line by line, discussing how this incident could reshape public perception of both artists. Analysts noted that Jim Jones, while known for his street credibility, had rarely generated this level of mainstream attention purely through strategic music content. One of the most discussed lines from the video references Kanye's alleged manipulation of media narratives. Fans immediately began connecting the dots to recent headlines about Kanye's controversial statements, business moves, and public persona. The line became a quote meme almost instantly, shared across Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, ensuring that even casual fans who hadn't seen the video would be aware of the drama. Meanwhile, the impact on streaming numbers was tangible. Fashion Killa saw an explosive increase in views on YouTube and streams on audio platforms, driven not just by Jim's fan base, but by curious hip-hop listeners eager to see the confrontation. Analysts noted that moments like these, when controversy meets artistry, are often the fastest drivers of engagement and virality in the digital age. Adding to the buzz, several fan reaction compilations went viral, highlighting how different communities reacted differently. Harlem fans praised Jim for defending local pride, while broader hip-hop audiences debated his stylistic choices and lyrical approach. The conversation was no longer just about Kanye. It became about Jim Jones' legacy, strategy, and impact on hip-hop in 2025. By the end of the first few days, it was clear that Fashion Killa had achieved more than just a viral moment. It had cemented itself as a cultural event. Memes, reaction videos, debates, and media coverage ensured that Jim Jones remained the center of attention. Social media analytics indicated spikes in searches for Jim Jones, Kanye West, and Fashion Killa, proving that the video had successfully captured widespread attention. Jim Jones' strategic artistry, calculated visuals, and sharp lyrics catapulted him back into the spotlight, creating tension, conversation, and virality that few artists can command. Fans are left asking, what will Kanye do next? Will there be a response? Or is Jim Jones' dominance in this moment uncontested? After days of relentless online chatter, memes, and viral breakdowns, the streets and the internet remained fixated on Jim Jones' Fashion Killa video. By now, the conversation had transcended music. It had become a cultural spectacle, a chess game in which Jim Jones had strategically positioned himself as the dominant figure, forcing Kanye West to respond or risk appearing passive. Fans were no longer just reacting, they were theorizing. TikTok and Instagram stories were flooded with speculation about Kanye's potential response. Some argued he might hit social media with a cryptic post, while others predicted he would release a track addressing Jim directly. Online forums and hip-hop discussion groups dissected every possible scenario, debating whether Kanye would acknowledge the video or let Jim's clapback stand uncontested. Meanwhile, memes continued to proliferate, some humorously depicting Jim as an unstoppable force in Harlem, and others imagining Kanye reading every lyric with disbelief. Industry analysts weighed in as well. Many noted that Jim Jones had cleverly utilized the power of visual storytelling combined with lyrical subtlety. Unlike typical feuds where artists shout names and directly call out opponents, Jim had crafted a layered narrative, a video that rewarded both casual viewers and hardcore hip-hop fans with hidden references, Easter eggs, and symbolic imagery. Analysts commented that this method not only boosted virality, but also reinforced Jim's reputation as a strategic and intelligent player in the hip-hop game. Streaming numbers reflected the frenzy. Fashion Killa had become one of Jim Jones' most streamed releases in recent years, with a spike across YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and SoundCloud. Even casual listeners curious about the Kanye connection flocked to watch the video multiple times. The engagement was phenomenal as reaction videos, breakdowns, and memes continued to spread across social media platforms. Fans were dissecting every bar, every visual, every camera angle, proving that Jim's strategic artistry had successfully captured widespread attention. One of the most viral memes emerged from a scene in the video where Jim Jones pauses mid-bar, with the camera focusing on his expression, a subtle smirk that fans immediately interpreted as a mocking gesture towards Kanye. Within hours, dozens of spin-off memes flooded TikTok and Instagram, including captions like, "When you drop," "Receipts and Kanye sees it or Harlem don't play," "Jim just schooled the E." The meme culture amplified the reach of the video exponentially, ensuring that it remained a hot topic well beyond its initial release. Fan theories became more elaborate, with some breaking down the symbolism in Jim's outfit, the locations he chose, and even the sequence of shots. Discussions revolved around whether Jim was hinting at future projects, collaborations, or even upcoming diss tracks, creating anticipation for the next move in this ongoing narrative. Forums debated whether Jim had positioned himself as untouchable in this moment, or if Kanye would reclaim the spotlight with a counter-response. The buzz surrounding these speculations kept the conversation alive, proving the power of strategic content in driving sustained engagement. Meanwhile, industry veterans and Harlem legends weighed in on the situation. Many praised Jim for his calculated approach, noting that his response avoided overexposure while maximizing cultural impact. Some commentators pointed out that this approach could serve as a blueprint for other artists looking to handle beef with sophistication rather than aggression, especially in an era dominated by social media virality and meme culture. Jim's ability to stay relevant and generate conversation without resorting to direct confrontation was viewed as a masterstroke in modern hip-hop strategy. Podcasts and YouTube breakdowns continued, analyzing every nuance. Hosts compared Jim Jones' tactics with past Harlem feuds, noting that he had successfully combined street credibility, lyrical skill, and digital strategy into a single cohesive message. One host commented, "Jim Jones didn't just respond. He controlled the narrative, forced engagement, and reminded everyone why Harlem still has influence in hip-hop." The praise was echoed across multiple platforms, with fans and influencers alike applauding Jim's savvy understanding of attention and virality. Even Kanye fans joined the discussion, debating whether Jim's video crossed a line or if it was a deserved response to past actions. Some expressed admiration for Jim's artistry, noting that his subtle references, clever wordplay, and visual storytelling elevated the conversation beyond simple beef. Others remained defensive of Kanye, predicting he might strike back with a subtle or indirect post on social media or through an upcoming release. This tension ensured that the narrative remained alive and evolving by midweek. The video had inspired not just memes and fan content, but also journalistic coverage, with hip-hop media outlets publishing articles analyzing the cultural and business implications of the feud. The consensus was clear. Jim Jones had successfully inserted himself back into mainstream conversation, leveraging a single well-crafted release to generate attention, debate, and engagement on multiple levels. Even outside of the hip-hop community, casual internet users were becoming aware of the drama. Social media algorithms promoted clips, reaction videos, and memes, exposing a broader audience to Jim's artistry and strategy. This unexpected crossover appeal showcased the power of viral culture and highlighted how a single music video could ripple across digital platforms, attracting viewers who might not normally follow Jim Jones or Harlem. Hip-hop. The long-term impact of fashion, Killa, remains a topic of discussion. Analysts predict that this release could influence how artists handle beef in the digital age, emphasizing subtlety, layered content, and engagement through virality rather than direct confrontation. Jim Jones has shown that strategic artistry, coupled with a deep understanding of fan psychology, can create moments that dominate conversations, memes, and streams simultaneously. As the dust begins to settle, one thing is certain. Jim Jones has reclaimed his place in the conversation, reminding the world that he still holds influence, street credibility, and the digital savvy needed to make every release matter. Fans continue debating, theorizing, and creating content around the video, ensuring that Fashion Killa remains relevant long after its release. The question on everyone's mind now is simple. Will Kanye respond, or has Jim secured this moment entirely on his own terms? All right, hip-hop fans, that's the full breakdown of Jim Jones' Fashion Killa saga. The lyrics, the visuals, the memes, and the Harlem streets buzzing like never before. Now it's time for you to weigh in. What do you think about Jim's bold move? Did he completely outsmart Kanye, or do you see the making a comeback response? Drop your thoughts in the comments because we want to hear your take. The most detailed and hot takes might even get pinned in the comments section. If you've been following the drama from the start, you know how every line, every camera angle, and every visual element in Fashion Killa was calculated to perfection. Jim didn't just release a song, he sparked a conversation that's shaking hip-hop culture, social media, and even mainstream news. And now it's your turn to join the debate. Make sure you hit that like button if you're feeling Jim's energy and want more content like this. Breakdowns, reactions, and exclusive street insights. Don't forget to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you don't miss the next installment. Whether it's Kanye's potential reply, more Harlem legends weighing in, or the latest viral moments. And one more thing, share this video with your friends, on your socials, and anywhere hip-hop lives online. The more people join the conversation, the bigger the discussion gets. And who knows? Jim Jones might see it, Kanye might see it, and we could be right in the middle of the next viral moment. So what are you waiting for? Comment your thoughts, like, subscribe, and let's keep this conversation going. Harlem's finest isn't slowing down, and neither should you.